Yes, my name is Mike Boland. I've been a Maid Brigade customer for several years and have really enjoyed the service. So I would say, before we hired Maid Brigade, it really just comes down to quality of life. It's, to me, there's just, there's only so much time that you have with family, with busy work schedules, with kids and practice and homework. It just comes down to quality of life for us. And so we look at Maid Brigade really as an investment more than anything. And there's just something that is so, for me, there's nothing better than being in a clean house. It just makes you feel better. For us, again, just, before Maid Brigade, there was just, our weekends were filled with a certain amount of housework. When you have kids and active life, it constrains the amount of time that you have with family. And so if you're spending all of your time doing housework, it just lowers the quality of your life. So for us, we really just can't really put a price on how much it means to be able to come together as a family and not have to do some of the things that we did before. So we've had quite a few competitors contact us. A lot of the contact that we get is by mail, but we've even had people who might clean the neighbor's home or across the street come by and introduce themselves. And what I tell them is really, we've actually, before Maid Brigade, used several other services, and the only service that we've ever stuck with for this protracted, for many years is Maid Brigade. And it's really, it's all the reasons that, that I mentioned, and then so we trust them. We trust them with our property to come to our house when we're not here. They do an amazing job. They clean our house from end to end. And when we come home after Maid Brigade, it's just a refreshing feeling that we have a nice sanitary and clean place to have our free time. My experience, I'm a business owner, and I have my own employees, and so I feel like, I can get a sense of the kind of people that Maid Brigade hires. And my own experience with the staff has been really amazing. I mean, clearly, the management at Maid Brigade takes a lot of time to pick the right people. They're always on time. I mean, almost to a fault. They're always pleasant, and they always get the job done. We see the same people every week. So unlike other services, every week we have the same people clean our house. So they know our house, they know us, and they're just always very pleasant and consistent. I think, obviously, just like any service, it's a competitive marketplace. But for us, it really comes down to, what our experience has been. So we've worked with, prior to Maid Brigade, we had probably 3 or 4 other companies that came in and did our home. In some cases, if you're using a sort of a private non-company, sort of sole proprietor, you're really subject to the inconsistencies by no fault of that person, but people get sick, it's not a company, or they're not able to meet their obligations. And certainly that's understandable. But what you really want with a cleaning service is you want somebody who has the resources and the professionalism that you're going to have a consistent job, and you're not subject to all the things that would be the case with like a private individual. It's not that can't work in certain circumstances, but in our case, we just don't have the time to filter through and figure out who's going to be able to do the job and who's not. With Maid Brigade, we get a service that's well resourced, and they get the job done every time, and so that's what matters to us. You know, all I can say is that I think there's just not a better cleaning service in the Tampa Bay area than Maid Brigade. We've used a bunch of services. They come into our neighborhood. They wear uniforms. They have insignia on their vehicles. They just have the extra white glove touch that I don't know of any other service that really does it that way. So it really stands out with Maid Brigade. They're absolutely trustworthy, and we just feel a sense of comfort with them that we haven't had with any other service provider.